Today I'm going to discuss technological unemployment and a universal basic income. Over the next few decades in the United States and around the world, a radical transformation in society will occur, spurred by robotics and artificial intelligence. This will lead to the automation of large segments of our economy. Technological unemployment will be disruptive and unprecedented, and will leave almost half the United States workforce unemployed within 20 years. This will be coupled with the ever-widening gap between the wealthy and the poor. While automation is a consequence of progress and advancement that helps to amplify resource abundance, the wealth generated from automation becomes concentrated within the individuals who own the technology, and its workers do not benefit. In order to protect against mass poverty as a result of technological unemployment, the United States should implement a universal basic income to all of its citizens. A universal basic income, also known as a UBI, is a form of social security that guarantees that all citizens of a country are given an unconditional sum of money by the government on a regular basis. Currently, the United States spends over $1 trillion on welfare programs. However, the welfare state still fails to accomplish its goal of lifting citizens out of poverty. Proposed universal basic income schemes would eliminate welfare programs, not including Medicaid or Social Security. While there isn't a consensus as to how much an individual should receive from a UBI, experts believe that a minimum UBI should be above the federal poverty line, which stands around $12,000 a year. In order to fund a UBI of roughly $1,000 a month for every U.S. citizen, it would cost around $3 trillion, which is 3 times more than what is spent on welfare today. However, as unemployment continues to rise and more people rely on current welfare programs, a UBI will increasingly become a more affordable and effective option for dealing with technological unemployment. The idea of UBI is becoming more popular around the world. Finland has started a pilot project to research its effectiveness, and countries such as Canada, India, and a multitude of Eastern African countries are looking into testing a UBI. In a study published in 2013 from the University of Oxford researchers, they found that around 47% of total U.S. employment is at risk for automation. Technologies such as autonomous vehicles have the potential to eliminate almost 5 million jobs alone. Companies such as Uber, Tesla, Lyft, Ford, GM, Toyota, and Google are feverishly working on being the first to have self-driving vehicles. Millions of jobs in retail, manufacturing, and fast food will also be eliminated. Robots such as Baxter, which cost around $20,000, are capable of performing repetitive tasks and do not require programming. And they can be used for smaller manufacturers to increase productivity and lower labor costs. Another robot called Flippy, created by Misa Robotics, is capable of flipping burgers and assisting chefs with cooking. E-commerce is transforming retail, allowing consumers to purchase goods without the need to leave their home. And technologies such as Amazon's Just Walk Out technology will transform brick-and-mortar stores by removing the need for tellers. Artificial intelligence will also threaten jobs like doctors, lawyers, and writers that require a great deal of education and training. Supercomputers such as IBM Watson are being trained to diagnose patients and provide medical treatment plans. Companies such as Narrative Sciences are routinely having algorithms write new publications, and what is deemed as the world's first robotic lawyer has won 160,000 cases for parking tickets. The chatbot called Do Not Pay is just the beginning of how artificial intelligence will automate many current roles in society. As a result of the Industrial Revolution, humans were able to mechanize their muscles, vastly increasing efficiency and allowing people to pursue more meaningful tasks that required their minds. Those jobs that were lost to mechanization were replaced by jobs that required more skill and education. However, society today is going through another transformation in which we are mechanizing our minds. Artificial intelligence will be capable of performing most mental tasks that humans perform today. It may appear that technology is advancing faster and faster, and that observation would be correct. Information technologies have consistently been advancing at an exponential rate for the past 100 years. Information technologies are any technology that store information, such as a microchip. Whenever an industry adopts an information technology, such as manufacturing, research, or transportation, that industry's technology starts to advance in an exponential manner. Over the past 20 years, almost every industry has been infused with information technology and is now advancing at that exponential rate. The continued advancement of the technology that runs society will and is causing profound changes in how humans live their lives. While automation will be a serious threat to employment in the near future, there are upsides that will come with rapidly advancing technology. While it is estimated that around 5 million people employed in the transportation industry will lose their job to autonomous vehicles, in the near future we may not need to own vehicles at all. In the near future, networks of self-driving vehicles owned by companies such as Uber will be able to drive you to your destination without the need for owning a car. Almost every car company is working on creating their own self-driving fleets of cars. What this means is the average American could save the money that you would typically spend on a car ownership, which includes the upfront cost of the car, fuel costs, insurance, registration, and repairs. Instead, they would pay for their transportation as a service, either by pay by the mile or monthly subscriptions. Solar technology is quickly replacing all other forms of energy generation as the cheapest source of reliable energy. This trend has been recognized by Ray Kurzweil and Google founder Larry Page. For the past 25 years, the market share of solar has doubled every 2 years. Back in 2012, solar produced 0.5% of the world's energy supplies. In 2016, it produced 2%. If this exponential growth continues, which is what experts expect, then the world is only 12 years away from solar energy powering the entire planet. At this point, energy will be virtually free, which will reduce the cost of living, the cost of manufacturing, and the cost of transportation. In the near future, almost all transportation vehicles will be autonomous and electric powered. Technology has been systematically digitalizing physical products such as music, videos, and books, which can all be distributed and purchased online. In the near future, many more physical products will become digitalized and manufactured locally with advanced 3D printers, which will reduce the cost of goods by cutting down on materials and transportation. 3D printing construction will replace human construction workers. However, it will increase the pace and price of construction, which will lead to more affordable homes and buildings. Agriculture will also be fully automated with the whole process from planting to harvesting completed without human intervention. The culmination of advances in these technologies will begin to usher in a post-scarcity world. Ultimately, adopting UBI would have tremendous benefits. There is the possibility that new companies called life service companies that could create all-inclusive amenity packages in exchange for their UBI would be tailored to how the individual would prefer to live their life. There would be packages for people who wish to travel, allowing them to access food, hostels, and transportation. There would be packages for families that want to have their own apartment and access to museums and theme parks. People would no longer be wage slaves. It wouldn't have to stress over survival anxiety since their housing and food would always be provided for. This would prevent companies from exploiting their employees since they would always have the option to quit and stay home if their working conditions were unacceptable. Remaining jobs in this automated future would be more creative, more fulfilling, and more meaningful than most of the work that people are forced to do today just to survive. While the transition caused by technological unemployment will be fraught with turmoil and change, the adoption of a UBI will usher in a more equitable post-scarcity future.